कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। गुरु भगवान गुरुदेव भगवान की जय हो। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपाद की जय हो। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हो। So today I am doing remaining sloka of the chapter 33, canto 10, starting from the 14th verse. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हो। गोप्यो लब्ध्वाच्युतं कान्तं श्रिय एकान्तवल्लभं, गृहीत कंठस्थ तदगोप्यां गायन्तस्तं विजहिरे। Having attained as their intimate lover, Lord Achyuta, the exclusive consort of the goddess of fortune, the gopis enjoyed great pleasure. They sang his glories as he held their necks with arms. कर्णोत्पलालक विटंग कपोल धर्म, वक्त्र श्रियो वलयनुपुर घोषवाद्ये, गोप्य समं भगवता ननृतु स्वकेश। Sorry for my voice. शस्त्रस्रजो भ्रमर गायक रास गोष्ठ्याम। Enchanting the beauty of the gopis' faces were the lotus flowers behind their ears, the locks of hair decorating their cheeks, and drop of perspiration, the reverberation of their armlets and ankle bells made loud musical sound, and their chaplets scattered. Thus the gopis danced with the Supreme Lord in the arena of the Ras dance, a swarm of beings sang in accompaniment. एवं परिष्वंग करार्भिमर्श, स्निग्धे क्षणोदाम विलास हासे, रेमे रमेशो व्रज सुंदरी भी, यथार्भक स्वप्रतिबिंब विभ्रमः. In this way, Lord Krishna, the original Lord Narayana, master of the goddess of fortune, took pleasure in the company of the young women of Raja by embracing them, praising them, and glancing lovingly at them as his As he smiled his broad, playful smile, it was just as if a child were playing with his own reflection. तदङ्गसङ्ग प्रमुदाकुलेन्द्रिया केशान्दुकूलं कुचपट्टिकां वा नाम च प्रतिभामुढ प्रतिव्याढुमलं रजस्त्रियो विस्त्रस्तमालाभरणा कुरुद्वः. Their senses overwhelmed by the joy of having his physical association. The gopis could not prevent their hair, their dresses, and the clothes covering their breasts from becoming disheveled. Their garlands and ornaments scattered. O hero of the Kuru dynasty! कृष्ण विक्रीडितं वीक्ष मुमुहुखे चरस्त्रियः कामादिता शशाङ्कश्च सगुणो विस्मितोऽभवत्. The wives of the demigods, observing Krishna's playful activities from their airplanes, were entranced and they become agitated with lust. Indeed, even the moon and his entourage, the star, become astonished. कृत्वा तावत्मानं यावती गोपयोषितः रेमे स भगवान् स्थाभिरात्मा रामोऽभिलीलया. Expanding himself as many times as there were cowherd women to associate with, the Supreme Lord, Thor, though self-satisfied, playfully enjoyed their company. तासां रतिविहारेण श्रान्तानां वदनानि सह प्रामुजत्करुणं प्रेम्णां शन्तमेनाङ्गपाणिनाम्. Seeing that the gopis were fatigued from conjugal enjoyment, my dear king, merciful Krishna lovingly wiped their faces with his comforting hair. गोप्यः स्फुरटपुरट कुण्डलकुन्तलट्वी गण्डश्रिया हासनिरीक्षणेन मानं ददत्य ऋषभस्य जगुकृतानि पुण्यानि तत्कररुह स्पर्शप्रमोदः. The gopis honored their hero with smiling glances, sweetened by beauty of their cheeks and the effulgence of their curly locks and glittering golden earrings. Overjoyed from the touch of his fingernails, they chanted the glories of his all-auspicious transcendental pastimes. ताभिर्यूत श्रम पोहितम् अङ्गसङ्ग दृष्टस्रजस कुचकुङ्कुमरञ्जितायाः गन्धर्वपालीभिरनुद्रुत आविशद्वा श्रान्तो गजीभिरीभराडीव भिन्नसेतुः. Lord Krishna garland had been crushed during his conjugal dalliance with the gopis and colored vermicle by the kumkuma powder on their breasts. To dispel the fatigue of the gopis, Krishna entered the water of the Yamuna, followed swiftly by bees who were singing like the best of the Gandharvas. He appeared like a lordly elephant entering the water to relax in the company of his consort. Indeed, the Lord had transgressed all worldly and Vedic morality, just as the powerful elephant might break the dikes in a paddy field. सोऽसम्भस्यलं युवतिभिः परिशमानः प्रेम्णेक्षितप्रहसितिभिरस्ततोऽङ्ग वैमानिके कुसुमवर्षभिरीड्यमानो रेमे स्वयं स्वरतिरत्र गजेन्द्रलीलः. My dear king, in the water Krishna found himself being splashed on all sides by the laughing gopis, who looked at him with love, as the demigod worshipped him by showering flowers from their aeroplanes. The self-satisfied lord took pleasure in playing like the king of the elephants. ततश्च कृष्णोपवने जलस्थल प्रसून्नगन्धानिलजुष्टदिक्तटे दिक्तटे चचार भृङ्गप्रमादगणावृतो यथा मदच्युत द्विरदकरेणुभिः. Then the Lord strolled through a small forest on the bank of the Yamuna. This forest was filled to its limit with breezes carrying the fragrance of all the flowers growing on the land and in the water, followed by his entourage of bees and beautiful women. Lord Krishna appeared like an intoxicated elephant with his she elephant. एवं शशाङ्काशु विरचिता स सत्यकामो नृता बलागणः शीशेव आत्मन्यवरुद्धसौरतः सर्वासरत्काव्यकथारसाश्रयाः. Although the gopis were firmly attached to Lord Krishna, whose desires are always fulfilled, the Lord was not internally affected by any mundane sex desire. Still, to perform his pastime, the Lord took advantage of all those moonlit autumn nights which inspire poetic description of transcendental affairs. श्रीपरीक्षितुवाच संस्थापनाय धर्मस्य प्रशमायेतरस्य च अवतीर्णो हि भगवान् अंशेन जगदीश्वरः स कथं धर्मसेतूनां वक्ता कर्ताभिरीक्षिता प्रतीपमाचरदर ब्रह्मन् परदाराभिमर्शनम्. Parikshit Maharaj said, O Brahmana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of the universe, has descended to this earth along with his plenary portion to destroy irreligion and re-establish religion principles. Indeed, he is the original speaker, follower, and the guardian of moral laws. How then could he have violated them by touching other men's wives? आप्तकामो यदुपति कृतवान् वे जुगुप्सितं किमभिप्राय एतन्न संशय छिन्दि सुव्रतः. O faithful upholder of woes, please destroy our doubt by explaining to us what purpose the self-satisfied Lord of the Yadus had in mind when he behaved so contemptibly. श्रीशुक उवाच धर्मव्यतिक्रमो दृष्ट ईश्वराणां च साहसं तेजीयसां न दोषाय वहने सर्वभुजो यथा. Sukdev Goswami said, the status of powerful controller is not harmed by any apparently obvious transgression of morality we may see in them, for they are just like fire, which devours everything fed into it and remains unpolluted. नैतत् समाचरे जातु मनसापि यनीश्वरः विनश्यतावचरण मूढ्यात् यथा रुद्रो abhijam visham. Oh, who is not a great controller should never imitate the behavior of ruling personalities, even mentally. If out of foolishness an ordinary person does imitate such behavior, he will simply destroy himself, just as a person who is not Rudra would destroy himself if he tried to drink an ocean of poison. ईश्वराणां वच सत्यं तथैवाचरितं क्वचित् तेषां यत्त्ववचो युक्तं बुद्धिमास्तत समाचरे. The statement of the Lord's empowered servant are always true, and acts they perform are exemplary when consistent with those statements. Therefore, one who is intelligent should carry out their instructions. कुशलाचरेते नेषामि कुशलाचरेते नेषाम् इह स्वार्थो न विद्यते विपरेण वानर्थो निरहंकारिणां प्रभो. My dear Prabhu, when this great person who are free from false ego act piously in this world, they have no selfish motive to fulfill, and even when they act in apparent contradiction to the laws of piety, they are not subject to sinful reaction. Himutakhil sattvanam tiryamrtya divakasam ishitu sheshitavyanam kushala kushalanvaya. How then could the Lord of all created beings, animals, men, and demigods, have any connection with the piety and impiety that affect his subject creatures? यत्पादपङ्कज परागनिषेव तृप्ता योगप्रभाव वितुताखिलकर्मबन्धः स्वेरं चरन्ति मुनयोऽपि न नह्यमाना सतेशयाच तव पुष कृत एव बन्धः. Material activities never entangle the devotees of the Supreme Lord, who are fully satisfied by serving the dust of his lotus feet. Nor do material activities entangle those intelligent sages who have freed themselves from the bondage of all fruitive reaction by the power of yoga. So how could there be any question of bondage for the Lord himself, who assumed his transcendental forms according to his own sweet will? गोपीनां तत्पतीनां च सर्वशामेव देहिनां योऽनन्तः शरति सोऽध्यक्षः क्रीडनेनेह देहभाक्. He who lives as the overseeing witness within the gopis and their husbands, and indeed within all embodied living beings, assumes form in this world to enjoy transcendental pastimes. अनुग्रहाय भक्तानां मानुषं देहमास्थितः भजते तादृशीं क्रीडां या श्रुत्वा तत्परो भवेत्. When the Lord assumed a humble like human-like body to show mercy to his devotees, he engaged in such a pastime as will attract those who hear about them to become dedicated to him. नाशयन् खलु कृष्णाय मोहितास्तस्य मायया मन्माया स्वपाशस्थान् स्वानदारान् व्रजोकसः. The cowherd men bewildered by Krishna's illusory potency, though their wives had remained home at their side, thus they did not harbor any jealous feelings against him. ब्रह्मरात्र उपावृते वासुदेवानुमोदितः अनिच्छन्त्यो ययोर्गोप्य स्वगृहान् भगवत्प्रियः. After an entire night of Brahma had passed, Lord Krishna advised the gopi to return to their home. Although they did not wish to do so, the Lord's beloved consort complied with his command. विक्रीडितं व्रज वधूभिरीदं च विष्णुः श्रद्धान्वितोऽनु शृणुयादथ वर्णयेदय भक्तिं परां भगवती प्रतिलाप्य कामं यरोगमाश्वपहिनोत्यचिरेण धीरः. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful affair with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain the Lord's pure devotional service. Thus he will quickly become sober and conquer lust and disease of the heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Rasa Panchodhyaya की जय हो, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हो. Dandavat pranam to all devotees. Sorry for any mistake, please. Hari bol.
A devotee like you, how could you make mistakes? Such a sincere devotee, you are so dear to Krishna, you know? And Shri Radha.
Hari bol, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, should I say the prayers?
Yes, please. Yeah, please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and wishing you all a very happy Ram Navami and welcome to today's session. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we will start with the prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam from Krishna's Leela Stava. सर्वशास्त्रादि पीयूष सर्ववेदैः सत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाद्य सर्व लोकैक दृक्पथ सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभु कलिद्वान्तोदित्यादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तित O Srimad-Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from ocean of all Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all people of the world, O life breath of Vaishnava devotees. O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned amongst us. परमानंद पाठाय प्रेम वर्षक्षरायति सर्वदा सर्वसीव्याय Shri Krishnaaya Namastame. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Mad ekabandhu, mad sangi, mad guru, mad mahadana, mad nishtarka, mad bhagya, mad ananda, namostame. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Asadu sadhu tadang ati nikuchta kara chinmam premna hata kantayosvara. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifest upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimati Satyavida Ashtikari Namane Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishe Shunyavadi Paschata Deshta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Can you hold on, Premaji, just 1 minute? My class is going on. Just let me take a pause,
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Yes, Premaji. Yeah.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumuktam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah.
Appreciate that.
Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamiyam Dadati Svapadankitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapatakalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrayatam Sagana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parigana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakavatam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu
What is the name again?
Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopitakanta Radha Kanta
Is listed in the
Namaste
faculty?
Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Subhanuputi Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vansha Karupatarabhesya Kripasindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Naranam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprasya Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtati. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vishali Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so before we start today's lesson, I think
Dr.
Srila
Rajan is a
Prabhu would like
mechanical
to do
engineer,
the
I'm
recap.
not wrong. Yes, I went through the but.
Hare Krishna devotees. We'll recap lesson 71 and 72, which were covered yesterday. in 71, we saw the description of the Rasa dance. The Rasa dance started, continued, and how it carried on, that was described. And the second part, we saw that Parikshit Maharaj was very much confused about Sri Krishna's intimate dancing with the wives of others. That's why he asked the question how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can do this. Then thereafter, Sukadeva Goswami, he resolves the all the doubts of Parikshit Maharaj. This is what we saw yesterday. Now we go on to slide 2. Now, my first question is, how did the demigods witness the Rasa dance? The demigods also came to witness the Rasa dance from the sky. How did they come? And they were accompanied by whom all?
Even in the airplanes, accompanied by their consort, they could see only Krishna, not the gopis.
Gopis.
They came with hundreds of celestial aeroplanes accompanied by their wives. The second question is, why the demigods could not see the gopis? They could only see Krishna.
Yeah.
Because Yogamaya concealed the sight of the gopis from men in the sky.
But there is another reason also.
Yes.
Because
So
that is what-
yes, continue.
Yeah, my understanding, Prabhuji, that the demigods, they wanted to see Krishna, not the gopis. Somewhere it, I think, came up in yesterday's discussion. Apart from Yogamayas, but that was also their desire to see Krishna.
Yes, the demigods, they wanted to see Krishna dancing in the Rasa dance.
Right.
They did not give importance to the gopis. That's why they could not see the gopis. Like the Lord had said, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Okay, we go to the next slide. Next slide, did Krishna replicate himself or moving around in a lightning speed? What are the 4 points discussed? As we know, we understand that Krishna replicated himself into so many 3 billion and he was dancing with the gopis. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he was only one Krishna and he was moving at such a lightning speed that somebody would perceive that there were so many Krishnas. Now, on this context, we discussed 4 points. What are them? What are those points one by one?
Yeah. First point, Prabhuji, just like any garland, there's only one emerald covered with the gold. So as that analogy is given, so is Krishna. Krishna is the only one. That is a one presentation. Gives that first point. Second point is talked about singular, that madhya. It's a middle, so not a plural. So that was the second. And third, that Krishna's movement. So it said that as if Krishna was moving very fast between other gopis. So first two are very prominent that I could see. The third, I'm not sure, Prabhuji. Sorry.
The last point is Krishna's movement was quicker
Yeah.
than firebrand. He was moving very fast. And how many gopis were there taking part in the Rasa dance that day, that night?
3 billion.
3 billion. 300.
300 million.
300 million. Okay, then we go to slide number 4. What do you understand by rasa?
The dance was with play, with music, embracing, kissing, singing. So it produced rasa.
Okay, this is rasa.
Rasa.
Then
It is also called ras kriya.
No, there are three things: Rasa, Rasa Krida, and Rasa Utsava. What you said about Rasa is correct. Then my next question is, what do you understand by Rasa Krida?
The amusement composed from rasa is called rasa krida.
Amusement derived from this Rasa. This is Rasa Krida. And what is Rasa
And
Utsava?
rasa dance is also called utsava or rasa.
Yes, yes. Then we move on to next slide. Okay, slide number 5. Now, who are the 8 principal gopis? It is not given in the slide. We talk of 8 principal gopis.
Chandrika, Vishakha, Lalita, Radha, Bari, and Shamla, one more, Padma.
Okay, anybody else? Like if you go to
Prabhuji, may I speak or
yes,
read?
yes.
Chandravali.
Lalita, Champakalata, Chitra, Tungavidya, Vishakha, Indulekha, Rungadevi, Sudevi.
Yes, Lalita, Vishakha, Chitra, Champaklata, Tungavidya, Indulekha, Rangadevi, and Sudevi. But in some other shastras, there are some other names also.
Bhadra.
Bhadra, and there are some other names also in shastras.
Yes.
But what we take is these are the 8 Sakhis. And if you go to the Mayapur temple, there with Krishna, these names are there: Lalita, Visakha, Chitra, Champaklata, Tungavidya, Indulekha, Rangadevi, and Sudevi. Okay, next question is, in Rasa dance, as per Sridhar Swami and Jiva Goswami's commentary, what does the first point indicate?
The fear of gopis was bent because of the Krishna assurance of his affection. उनका fear चला गया था कि ये फिर से सेपरेशन के लिए कि फिर से चले डिसअपियर हो जाएंगे, वो fear नहीं था उस टाइम गोपीज में.
Okay, because Krishna's assurance, they had given up all fear. And what does the second point discuss?
Every gopi thought that Krishna, I am the sole recipient of his embrace. And every gopi was feeling intimate connection with Krishna.
And how they were dancing, they had made a circle around Krishna, and they were, it is not one circle, actually there are many circles. Okay, like the first circle was having 8 gopis, the second circle 108 gopis, like this.
So they are concentric circles, okay? And the 8 Sakhis, and within 8 Sakhis, the innermost is Shri Radhe and Krishna, and then all other circles, except they keep on increasing. Remember, there are 3 billion gopis. They are all participating in that, you know.
And in the
according to their hierarchy, these eccentric circles are there, you know.
And in the center, who were there?
Radha and Krishna.
Radha and Krishna, yes. And what is the third point? When they were, this Rasa dance was going on, what else was happening?
Krishna was praising the gopis for their performance and the collective experience they dancing, they got singing and dancing. So that is the divine love and beauty and talent.
And was there any music?
Yes, music and dance.
Yes, music and dance. It was a great party. And what is the final
Krishna point? And how Krishna used to encourage them, he used to praise them and encourage them, you know.
Yes. And what is the final point given in the slide? The last point?
Radha, Vishakha, and Lalita were the main who has been given attention, specific attentions. They were dancing while kissing, all these things. Their love and emotional spirit increased, was deep. It shows the deep emotional and spiritual connection with Krishna.
That means these gopis, by interacting with Krishna, they were also having the Ashtasattvika Vikar also. Okay, we go to the next slide, slide number 6. Okay. What do you understand by separation and union? What does it signify?
In separation, devotee is longing to meet divine, and devotee is feeling sorrow, pain, and after union, you have to the devotee is happy to meet with the divine.
Okay, in simple words, can anybody else describe this?
It can be called as a bhakti.
It can be called as
Bhakti. Separation and union, reunion.
Okay, it is basically what it shows, the duality of experience, human experience.
Joy and sorrow.
But in union, there is joy, and in separation, there is sorrow. That is joy and sorrow, these are the two dualities of human experience. The next question is, how did each gopi perceive the Krishna?
Yeah, personal relationship between the devotee and the divine.
Yes,
And
each
Krishna.
one
Symbolizing.
Yes. And then the next question is, the interaction between the rasa dance signify what?
The power of communal experiences.
All together, they were together, the 3 billion gopis, they were trying to satisfy Krishna, and they were elevated in a very elevated platform, and that was totally transcendental in nature. We move on to the next slide. Can divine manifest in the material world? This is material world, but the divine, the spiritual thing, can it manifest?
Yes, Sajid, the spiritual and physical realms are interconnected.
They are interconnected. That's why they can also manifest in the material world. Why Radha is called a Swadhina Vastrika?
Because he controls the Lord. He is only mine in mine.
Yes.
Manubhav.
She controls.
Control through what? What is it that control being controlled by?
Love. Control through love.
Love and devotion.
Control through love.
That tremendous, very, very high level of bhakti, you know?
Bhakti.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
There, Radharani is also called Bhakti Sarupa, Mahabhava Sarupa, you know, as we learned in the Radha Tattva course.
Yes, Prabhu.
And
nobody can come closer to Radharani.
And her love is what? Grita Sneha or
Madhu Sneha.
Madhu
Madhu
Sneha.
Sneha.
Okay. You understand the difference? We'll not discuss about that. Like when the temperature is high, the clarified butter, it will melt. But the honey, it will not melt. Now, can our material senses realize the spiritual Lord? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, anybody else?
Yes, Prabhuji. Because when we purify ourselves, when we through devotion, through proper Guru Shishya Parampara, we purify ourselves, then at the end we can अनुभूति कर सकते हैं.
Yes, that is one point. But the major point is by the Lord's mercy. We may do whatever we want to, but we have to have the Lord's mercy to realize the spiritual Lord. And then we move to slide 9. How did the gopis express their ecstatic state?
Through dance and song, they displayed
Dancing
their
and
emotions.
singing with the instruments. Okay, how did the gopis and Krishna shared a spiritual communion?
Each expressed joy of love in their unique ways.
They had love for each other and they experienced that in person. And how Krishna revealed his mastery over all forms of artistic expression
Through the dance.
by dancing. We move on to slide 10. In Rasa dance, what is the nature of love?
Selfless.
It is selfless, yes, because the gopis, they want to satisfy Krishna. They do not want to be satisfied themselves. They do not have any ambition. And what is the other point? It is
Feeling of surrendering also.
it is
Totally
very intimate.
Pure devotion.
Pure devotion.
Surrenderance.
No
Complete
mixture of,
surrender.
yes, there is no mixture of anything else. Then the next question is how unity in diversity was shown in the Rasa dance.
Each gopi experiences their Krishna's love separately, yet they are all connected to him.
Unity in diversity means Krishna was one, but the gopis, they saw him as many. Okay, next question is how the Rasa dance is a physical and spiritual event.
It was like a festival on both as physical event as well as spiritual experiences.
Because all these spiritual experiences, interaction between Radha and Krishna and the gopis and Krishna, they were perceived through material interactions. Okay, we move to next slide. What was the role of Yogamaya in the Rasa dance? What was she?
She facilitates the rasa dance by allowing Krishna to manifest in multiple
Just
forms.
in one word.
She was facilitator.
Facilitator, okay. She helped in arranging the Rasa dance. You imagine 3 billion gopis and that was being arranged by Yogamaya. And remember, like if we have to conduct a meeting in the present day world, you have to do so many arrangements, mic, the sound, the other arrangements there, and everything was Yogamaya was doing, and Yogamaya was doing that effortlessly. And how did the gopis experience ecstasy during the Rasa dance? As what?
Ananda.
Ananda as physical sensations and as emotions. And why the Rasa dance was conducted outside the societal norms, abandoning morality and spirituality. As we heard in today's recitation also, in verses 28 onwards, Sukadeva Goswami and he answered Parikshit Maharaj. He asked why Krishna had to do this. that is dancing with the others' wives. Why Krishna did it? It is not given in the slide.
Krishna
Prabhuji, it may
dancing.
be. Go ahead,
Yes,
go ahead,
yes.
ma'am.
Prabhuji.
Okay,
Go.
so
Prabhuji.
it's for mundane it may be a not a right thing, but in a spiritual platform it is okay. So how you look at it? It's from which perspective? From spiritual perspective, that rasa dance with other, because two reasons are given there, right? Those gopis were his own eternal consort. So those are other examples, but this is okay for in a spiritual realm, but not okay in a mundane realm.
Okay, it
प्रभु
was
जी, वन पॉइंट ऐसा भी आता है प्रभु जी की परक्य भाव को भगवान को आस्वादन करना था, तो इसके लिए भी ये रास डांस.
yes, basically it was desired by the Lord, but when you see from the commoner point of view, one who has no knowledge, he will think it is transgressing morality, but actually it was not. We have discussed so many points, like all these gopis, they were his eternal wives. The wife and husband dancing together during day or night, how does it matter? Like all these things we have discussed in great detail and given in the first verse of the 29th chapter, it was desired by the Lord. That's why it happened. Next we go
Prabhuji, just 1 minute.
Yes, yes.
This is the very, very important, extremely important point. So what we'll do, because Sanjeev Prabhu has to speak quite a bit, so we will discuss and pay greater attention and greater clarification in our discussion section, but this point is extremely important.
Next we move on to slide 12. The gopis, they represent what?
Feminine energy, Shakti.
Shakti.
Shakti, or the feminine energy of the Lord. And what do we understand by the cycle of creation and dissolution in the Rasa dance context?
Krishna creates a joyful experience and eventually he withdraws them.
Yes. And how are the Krishna's actions during the Rasa dance?
Playful and spontaneous.
They were playful, they were spontaneous. And what is the conclusion as per the slide? The last point.
Importance of material limitations in the pursuit of spiritual fulfillment and the nature of divine love, the unity of existence.
Actually, in this spiritual activity, there is no limitation. Like we saw, they danced for a night of Brahma. A night of Brahma is 432 crore years. But that night was compressed in this night only, which is impossible in the material world. Actually, we cannot think of that. We are saying this, but it is very difficult to perceive and think of that. Okay, let us go on to slide 14. What do you understand by aptakama?
Self-satisfied.
Self-satisfied. And what are the other terms used for this aptakama?
Atmaram.
Apta means prapta. That means he has already got everything. Apta kama means prapta kama and purna kama, and any other term for this? Paramaniskama. Okay. Okay. How does Sukadeva Goswami explain the Lord's behavior? In the last point given.
Anyone who faithfully hears this Lord's playful affairs and with the young gopis. In Vrindavan, we attend pure devotional service of the Lord.
And in the Kirtan also today we saw the verses and the translation is the same. Then we
Which
go.
will conquer.
Yes, we go to slide 15. Why Parikshit Maharaj raised observations on Krishna's behavior?
उन्होंने एक प्रश्न उठाया क्योंकि जो सभा थी उसमें दूसरे कई लोग थे जिन्होंने शंका जाहिर की कि ये कैसे हो सकता है, इसीलिए सबके भले के लिए परीक्षित महाराज ने वह क्वेश्चन पूछा. उनको तो भरोसा, मतलब उनको तो मालूम ही था, मगर दूसरों के लिए उन्होंने प्रश्न पूछा.
Yes, because Krishna's behavior was contradictory. What we expect in the material world, it was much different from that. That's why he raised this question. Yes, you are very correct. Parikshit Maharaj is a very high level devotee. He didn't ask for himself, he asked for us to understand. Okay, next we'll see in this slide 16. What do you mean by dharma and adharma?
Dharma is the moral duty, and adharma is immortal actions.
Dharma is what is given in the scriptures, what is to be done. And anything against that, that is adharma. What do you mean by divine leela? Point number 2, divine leela.
Krishna is a part of a divine play that serves a great cosmic purpose.
Okay. What do you mean by the nature of God?
Aptakama.
Aptakama. And what do you mean by the role of bhakti? What is most important in spiritual life?
Devotion can lead to a union with the divine that transcends conventional morality.
Yes, in spiritual life, the only thing which is most important is the devotion, bhakti. And this can lead one to the union with the divine, that is meeting the Supreme Lord, going to his Dhama like this. Okay, we move to slide 17. Why Parikshit Maharaj raised doubts? What was the shortcoming in him?
Human beings' understanding has limitations.
We have got limitation of understanding. That's why, like, we are attending the classes and we are revising it regularly. That's why we are very clear. But majority of the people, 95% or even more, they won't be knowing all these things. They will raise questions. Why Krishna, at the dead of the night, he was dancing with the wives of others? So this question everybody will ask. And why the relationship between Krishna and the gopis transcend ordinary relationships? Because it is extraordinary. It is not ordinary. The relation between Krishna and gopis, that is the highest. That's why it is not ordinary at all. That's why it transcends all ordinary relationships. And next question, why the Lord has to transcend beyond the rigid moral framework and do what he did? What was the purpose?
For understanding the true devotion. So
A spiritual purpose, a divine purpose was behind that. That's why he did that. And what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that this what we are talking of, the spiritual relationship, the divinity, and the morality in the spiritual realm, the love of the gopis to Krishna, they are very, very complex to understand. normal people cannot understand. That's why they try to criticize Lord Krishna. Next, slide 18. Why Krishna had to dance with others' wives at night? What was the purpose? What
For
is
Parakiya Rasa.
Parakiya Bhava? Because when he comes to this material world, he likes the gopis to experience Parakiya Bhava because it is not available in Golok Vrindavan. Okay. Should we follow the demigods committing irreligious acts? There are so many, like Indra, Brahma, they also commit so many irreligious acts sometimes. Should we follow them?
No, Prabhuji.
No,
An
no,
example was
Prabhuji.
given
No.
Lord Shiva. Yeah. No.
Yes, we should
That
never
is
follow
irreligious.
them because the consequences are going to be very, very severe. We will be punished for that. Any example why we should not do what the demigods do?
Yeah, the Lord Shiva's, example was given, right? He can drink that poison, but we can't do.
We cannot take even a drop or half a drop of poison. Okay, then slide 19. What should be what should be critical for following dharma and moral codes? What is most important? From where we should take this? What is to know what is dharma and adharma? What is, we should take it from the
From scriptures.
From
From
scriptures,
scripture.
from the scriptures, and this has to be decided on the context. On the context, like you would have heard, there are many people, they consider themselves to be the supreme lord, and they dance with women at night. This thing also takes place even today in the material world. But Krishna, he danced with the wives of others. You have to take the context. It is the supreme lord himself. And the gopis, they are the pure devotees of the Lord. The next question is, who are beyond the dualities of religion?
devotees. Devotees.
Devotees. Devotees means pure devotees.
Pure devotees.
I'll give some examples. Like we do not eat grains on Ekadasi day, but there are some the Vaishnavas who, on the orders of the Supreme Lord, they eat grains on Ekadasi day. We cannot say they are transgressing religion because they are at that level. And there are certain sampradayas that taste food before offering to the Lord. In Gaudiya Sampradaya, if you prepare the prasad for the Lord, it should not be tasted before it is offered. But in some sampradayas, it is there. They have to taste it. Like this, the sincere devotees, the high level devotees, they do certain things. We should not criticize them. Then the next question.
Prabhuji, tell them don't imitate Shabari's example. Shabari, right?
Yes, about Sabari. Actually, there is another thing about Sabari. The meaning of that story is not very rightly understood. It is not that Sabari, she offered the fruits after tasting. What she did, she went to a tree to get the fruit. She tasted one fruit, and if she found it suitable for Lord Rama, she collected the fruits. Not that half eaten by her was offered to Rama. That was not correct understanding. But whatever you understand, whatever examples I have given, like here in Jagannath Puri Dham, on Ekadasi, people take the anna, that is rice and other things. because of certain things. But we follow certain things in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Therefore, we should not transgress. We should follow what our Sampradaya is following. Now, the next question is, what is the
प्रभु जी,
purpose?
यहाँ पे हमें ये भी देखना है ना कि सबरी का जो डिवोशन था कितना टॉप लेवल का था। जो हम बोलते हैं कि सबरी के जैसे करे, तो मगर हम कैसे कर सकते हैं? हमें वो भाव भी नहीं है, वो लेवल भी नहीं है ना प्रभु जी?
And she waited for Lord Rama for
एंटायर लाइफ शी वेटेड।
how many years?
एंड नहीं, फ्रॉम
Thousands
चाइल्डहुड
of years. That's a key point.
so many years प्रभु।
Thousands of
She waited for 10,000 years.
हाँ,
10,000 years, that is the thing, and we cannot reach that level. And what is meant by illusion and reality in divine pastimes? What was the illusion in this this Rasa dance and
The replica created by Yogamaya.
Replica of the Chaya gopis and their husbands, they were created by Yogamaya only. So that these gopis, they felt as if they were married, but they were not married. This was to have this Parakiya Bhava. And how Krishna Prema can appear in one's heart, what one should do?
Pure love. By hearing and glorifying his pastimes.
Hearing is most important. In the Navada Bhakti, hearing comes first. Sravanam, Kirtanam. Sravanam, hearing is very, very important, and hear from a authority, from a sampradaya, and glorify the Supreme Lord. We go to the last slide. What do you understand by divine sovereignty and the moral paradox? What we are talking of dharma, it is contextual. In which context it is being spoken, in which context it is being discussed, that should be taken into account and should not apply all these rules and regulations uniformly. Can you imitate the divine persons?
No.
I have one example here for engineering students. Like we have 1 + 1. Generally, you say it's true, but that's a base system as decimal. If you take the base system as binary, 1 + 1 = 1. So when the base platform changes, the results are different.
Yes. And what are our guides? Which things should guide us in all these moral behavior and other things? We say
our scripture.
Our scriptures.
But in scriptures
Guru Shastra
specifically, Shrutis and Smritis. Shruti means what? The Vedas.
सुन के हम लोग ने ग्रहण किया है.
Shruti means the Vedas. Smriti means
Puranas.
Mahabharata, like this Purana Itihasa. Okay.
And the second important point is that scriptures are deliberately ambiguous sometimes, which is context driven, and that should be heard. An explanation should be heard from a bona fide guru. That's a spiritual master is very important, and advanced devotees. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are the devotees liberated? Yes. Then if that is so, if I ask a question, are you yourself liberated?
On the path.
No, Prabhu, we are in anartha.
Student.
Still, we are in anartha level.
Here the word is pure devotees are liberated. If we think ourselves very pure, then that is all right. But most of us, they are trying to be pure. We are trying to improve in our devotional service. we might not have reached that level. That's why we are not yet liberated. Okay, there is still another slide, the last slide. Why the Lord shows his mercy upon his devotees? To do what?
To attract and uplift
To
devotees.
uplift.
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 And why Yogamaya created an illusion?
To protect the sanctity of Lord's pastimes.
To protect the sanctity of the divine pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And what is meant by timelessness? Timelessness, we spoke now.
Krishna is beyond space and time. He transcends those. Time is under control of Krishna. So
That means what? When we talk of time, we talk of past, present, and future. But in timelessness, here all the three they merge together.
Become much.
It's only present tense in spiritual world.
Only present tense. There is no past or future. Okay, can you quote some verses on the power of hearing and chanting?
Yes, Prabhu, second chapter, first canto, second chapter, 17 to 21.
Those verses can, one of the verses can anybody?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
शृण्वता स्वकथा कृष्णां पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदयन्तस्ते भद्राणि विदनोति सुहरत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तदा रजस्तमो भाव कामलोभादयसे चेतेतरनावृत्तिं सिद्धं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते चिन्त्यन्ते हृदयग्रन्थि विद्यन्ते हृदयग्रन्थि छिन्दन्ते सर्वसंशय श्रीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Everybody should remember these verses. They are very, very important. Thank you, Prabhuji. I have finished.
Wonderful, Raksha Mataji. Raksha Mataji, you really made my day today.
प्रभु जी रोज बोलती हूँ इसलिए.
You heard these verses so many times from me, right?
Yes, प्रभु जी हर रोज करती हूँ.
Okay, this is wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for so nice revision.
Sharad Prabhuji did it wonderful, even better, much better than me. I could do that in a limited period of time. Congratulations, Sharad Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you. So